Have you ever wondered how we built houses 100+ years ago? What was the framing like? What was the materials? On the Build Show today, master builder Wade Paquin in Rhode Island is going to peel back the layers on a house that, believe it or not, is over 100 years old and got no less than 6 renovations over the years. He's going to show you the different materials, why we use them, and it's going to be a really fascinating look at this really old house that's had a lot of work done it. With that being said, fascinating framing. Let's get going.
Wade Paquin with the Build Show Network. This week I'm on one of my historic renovation projects. This building is over 125 years old. It was original box at one point. It's had 6 additions put on over its lifetime. The amount of layers and different materials used here is truly fascinating. And today I'm going to try and assess when I think each of those 6 additions was put on the house and try and come up with a time period by assessing the materials used. So I believe this house was probably built late 1800s. I'm talking like 1895 to maybe as late as 1905, 1910. I think that because of the materials used, because of the foundation materials used, and just because of the history here in this part of the town, in this part of Rhode Island. I think I'm standing in the original structure, which was 21 feet wide, 26 feet deep, a simple little box with a gable roof. The original back corners were over there by the stair landing platform, and back here in the corner where that room is leaning on that stud there. That was the original structure. I think the first renovation or addition that was put on was a shed dormer, probably in the 1940s. Upstairs. So let's head up there and I'll tell you why I think it was the 1940s, maybe early 1950s. All right, guys, I'm up on the 2nd floor now where I think this was the first addition that was put on to this structure. And you can see behind me off to my right, this material that's untreated and newer, and this old original material that's whitewashed. It's a process called lime washing. They didn't have paint back in and around 1900. Lime washing, mixing lime and water, was a form of a cheap way to paint, essentially. This house did not have lath and plaster on the walls. The framing stayed exposed, so this is a cheap way to paint it. So if you haven't seen that episode, go check it out. But back to business here. You can see the old roof plane right here. Rafter. Some nice thick 1 inch by variable width sheathing boards. And here's the butt end of an old top plate, and then your knee wall studs. This was all cut out to accommodate this shed dormer addition here in front of me. And you can see where they framed in and added this cheek wall. They filled this in, and back in here in this cavity, that 2-foot bump out, where the original plane of this roof, probably about an 8 pitch here, comes down. You have 2 feet rather, of roof out here. And then that was filled in to extend the gable elevation and that exterior wall elevation of this side of the house. Now, by looking at the material here, the studs, this is older growth lumber, tight grain, consistent size sheathing boards here, right? These are all probably 1x10 boards. This tells me this was probably in the 1940s. We've done a lot of renovation work in and around that time period, and to me this is consistent with the lumber that I've seen in and around the 1940s. So I think somewhere in the 1940s, this addition was put on. It accommodated some more space on the 1st floor, and it had the shed dormer put on over that addition here to accommodate some more space on the 2nd floor. And we see that, right? We can see where that was added on and chopped out. You can see it right here. Here's our old sheathing boards, again, our old stud wall here, and everything outside and above this was added on. So one thing I'd like to point out here before we move to another section of the house is that the nails are much different here on the shed dormer addition versus what was used on the original home. Now on the original home, it was all these iron cut nails, right? These were very popular through the 1800s, right up to early 1900. By 1910, 1915, these iron cut nails basically became obsolete And with the production of wire nails completely dominated the market in and around 1915. So again, trying to assess and confirm my theory on time frame here, based on the wire nails used in this edition, it doesn't look like an early version of a wire nail to me. It looks a little later on. So again, I think we're back into that 1940s period. And as far as these cut nails on the original structure, based on this type of cut nail, it's telling me that this is very late 1800s, maybe turn of the century, right around 1900. So again, confirming that I think the structure was built, give or take, right around 1900. All right, guys, I'm down now on the first floor. And before I get into some of the fun, interesting things I found on this floor, let's first get our bearings as to where we just were. And that's up in this space. Let me grab this broom here as my handy dandy pointer. This right here, up here in this corner, was actually the old corner of the house, the outside back corner of the original structure. So everything from that corner this way has been added on. So those sheathing boards here would have carried all the way down. This would have been that addition we were just looking at upstairs. So your first floor addition in here, and that second floor shed dormer addition above. Now what I noticed down here on the first floor is they had added a powder room at the time they did this addition. That powder room had a layer of linoleum on it. Now we know linoleum was incredibly popular in the 40s and into the 50s. So again, pretty much confirming that that was in and around 1940s that addition was put on. So we're identifying this stuff by looking at materials used. So that addition was done. That's the major first addition that I feel went on the house. Again, old lumber, dating the 40s. So this building probably went 40 years as is without any modification until that happened. So addition 1 happens, then addition 2. This one's interesting because it's just a long, awkward space. It was a wall right here that went back from the old back corner of the house out 20 feet, 8 feet wide, and it had a very long sloping shed roof over the top of it. Now we know that because we can actually see one of the old rafters in there, and before we pulled this wall down, the sheathing boards were on that, so we knew that was exterior sheathing. I'd be standing outside, and this space had a wall partition dead smack in the middle of it. I suspect that the half closest to the house, which was right up against the kitchen, was used as a pantry or some sort of food storage, and the back had an access door, almost looked like an old barn door of some sort. Coming into the back, maybe it was some lawn tools, lawn equipment, things like that. So there's your addition 2. Then addition 3 happens, and that's off to the left of this, where a foundation and crawl space was added, a first floor bedroom was put in, and then above that bedroom and over the top of this long food storage garden tool space, they carried that bedroom all the way over to this wall, and that's up here. So that created a master bedroom above the new space and that old storage space here. So there's your addition 3. I think that was all done at the same time. All the materials look consistent. The joists that run over the ceiling of the new bedroom carry all the way over the top of this old storage space. So likely done all at the same time. Probably based on the materials used here, I'm guessing maybe in the 1980s, maybe early 1990s, it would be my guess. Then this space happened. This would be addition, where are we? 1, 2, 3, 4. This was probably done in the last 15 years or so because the materials are fairly new. The gypsum board is fairly recent. The stamps on the framing studs are consistent with what we see still today. So this was probably in the last 12 to 15 years. So addition, what did I just say? 1, 2, 3, 4. And then on the other side of the house that was much more recent and not nearly as exciting was addition 5 and 6 for an expanded living room area. But before I wrap up this episode, I want to show you something really interesting with the layers of the floor here and how over the years they have padded up and used different layers of material here to level out the floors to accommodate all these different additions because they've all been done at different times, and it's crazy what they did. So you can see here, there's numerous layers of flooring, right? You have original sheathing boards with, say, hardwood flooring over the top of that, and then some lumber that was used as a sleeper to either level out the floor or shim it to marry it up to an adjacent floor, and then sometimes new plywood subflooring put over the top of that with then a new flooring material, whether it be hardwood flooring again, tile, or in the area where the bathroom is, linoleum. So you have all of these different layers of flooring done at different times with one goal in mind: to keep things fairly flush. And when we took ownership of this project and you walked around in here, it wasn't a step down, step up. Everything was fairly flush. There was some, up and down kind of waves and dips in the floor, but nothing like what you see here and what we uncovered with the different layers on the subfloor. So fascinating history. There's just a lot going on here in this project. This is really just the tip of the iceberg. We're kind of at a pause right now. We're waiting for our structural engineer to give us some information now that we've opened up the house, to see how we're going to proceed with correcting a lot of structural deficiencies here in the house to ultimately get back on track and get this house renovated and turned over to the client.
Guys, if you don't know Wade Paquin, Wade's an incredible builder in Rhode Island. He's one of the original Build Show contributors when we launched our site in 2020, so 5 years ago now. So he's got 5 years of fantastic videos, and Wade has got to be one of the most incredible builders in the US. And you should go check out his videos. His houses are absolutely gorgeous, and he really uses top-notch craftsmanship, top-notch materials, and he's also battling the worst of Mother Nature by building houses right on the coast and off the coast on Block Island as well. Go check out all his videos, plus you can go check out his series, Building on an Island, that we just finished publishing about a year or so ago, where he built an entire house start to finish on Block Island. The logistics are crazy on that build. With that being said, go follow Wade on both Instagram and check out his videos on thebuildshow.com. Sign up for our newsletter so you'll know when Wade's got a new video for you to go watch. And hit that subscribe button below. We've got new content here every Tuesday and every Friday. Follow us on Facebook or Instagram. Otherwise, we'll see you next time on The Build Show.